A Forest Tale. Once upon a time, in a magical forest, all the creatures of nature lived in peace and harmony. There were the three little rascally raccoons, known as the Buckle Brothers, who had the knack of stealing from others and in turn would steal from each other. There was the wise old Father Hare, who was the forest spiritual leader, and also the forest gossip Peck, a very simple bird who loved to spread rumours and stories about others for her own amusement. There was a dapper and handsome fox named Kai. Kai was a prince, the son of the Nature King, and was in love with a ruggedly dashing wolf named Valen. Kai and Valen were inseparable, spending their days hunting, frolicking, and laying about in the sun. Deep in the forest lived a beautiful and powerful lioness, the governess of the meadow, named Valenka. She had scratched and clawed her way to power and raised her daughter Luca to be just as strong. The governess had big plans for her daughter. She explained to Luca, "You have to marry the prince. You could sit on the throne and rule over all of nature. You simply must marry the prince." Luca refused to marry Kai, claiming she was as strong and independent and in no need of a man to define her role as a woman or her ability to rule. Valenka thought if the two would meet, they would instantly fall in love, so she devised a scheme. She would throw a party and sway her daughter to marry Kai with the help of her advisor, the magical Cheryl the Crow. Invitations for the party with promises of dancing, drinking and a feast were sent out to all creatures of the land and forest, including Kai and Valen. The two were ecstatic for a chance to go out, as they donned their best attire and set off to the forest to dance the night away. On the night of the festivities, Valenka approached Luca with her intentions of having her married off to Kai, explaining again that it was best for the family and for their quest for power. With a defiant step in her foot, Luca protested, "Mother, I refuse to marry a man just because you want me to." Valenka, distraught by this outburst, turned to Cheryl the Crow and asked for her help in the matter. "Our guests are on the way. Please, Cheryl, talk to her." The Crow went to work, concocting a spell with poisonous potions and dark magic, bewitching a beautiful brooch with a spell of true love. This brooch would now force whomever received it to fall madly in love with the creature from whence it came. Cheryl brought the enchanted brooch to Luca's private quarters and instructed her to present this gift to Kai, saying, "This will force him to fall in love with you, my dear Luca. When he does, you will be free to marry him." Angered by Luca's adamant refusal, Cheryl said, "Well, if you are unwilling to marry Kai and rule over all the land, then I will do it for you." With a wave of her hand and a puff of smoke, she then entered Luca and became her. At the party, the booze flowed, the music swelled, and good times were had by all. During the dinner, bewitched Luca rose to give a toast. She proclaimed her love to Kai and presented him with a gift of the beautiful and enchanted brooch. Naturally, Kai denied the gift, explaining that his heart belonged to another. As he turned to leave, bewitched Luca quickly pinned the brooch to his chest. He immediately fell in love with her, exclaiming to everyone at the party that she was now his bride-to-be. Valen, sitting next to Kai, objected, saying, "This is wrong. We are in love." Luca, seeing this as the perfect opportunity to rid the situation of the meddlesome Valen, ordered her guard to take him away to the dungeons. Once Valen was secured behind bars, bewitched Luca paid him a visit. She went to his cage and taunted him about her plans for enchanting Kai with the brooch and marrying him in order to rule over all the land. She cocked her head back to laugh, and Cheryl the Crow's head came out of Luca's body. Cheryl revealed to Valen that she was sick of simply being the governess Valenka's advisor, but instead desired to be the all-powerful ruler of the land and forest. She said to Valen, "Get used to being behind this cage, dog. I'm off to get married. I shall not wait a moment longer." She laughed and returned to the party, leaving the shocked Valen to cry and mourn the loss of his love. The three Buckle brothers appeared, fighting over a set of stolen jail keys. In their fervour to possess them, the keys went flying from all three pairs of hands and fell at Valen's feet. Unlocking his prison door, he turned to the three raccoons and said, "Do you want something shiny and pretty? Follow me." He then ran back towards the party with the three rascals in tow. Meanwhile, the party had turned into a wedding. Father Hare was standing before the glowing, bewitched Luca and the enchanted Kai, with Mother Valenka on the side, so happy she was beside herself. As Father Hare asked if there was anyone in the audience who opposed this union, Valen shouted and burst down the aisle towards Kai. Valen reached towards him, snatched the bewitched brooch from his chest and flung it to the ground. Kai, now free from the curse of the brooch, turned to see his love Valen standing by his side. They immediately fell into a loving embrace, relieved to be together once again. Having her marriage to Kai and the chance of power thwarted, the enraged Cheryl the Crow pulled herself from Luca's body, shocking the entire congregation. Valenka, seeing that her daughter had been possessed by the evil Cheryl and acting out of protected mothering nature, pounced with claws out and fangs bared on the forest witch and mauled her to death. From the mangled body of Cheryl the Crow, Valenka looked up at her daughter, the prince, and his lover, and exclaimed, "What have I done?" Just then, the ground began to shake and rumble, and leaves fell from the trees. The majestic Nature King appeared from a huge puff of smoke at the altar, stunning all into a shocked silence. The king turned to Luca. As she trembled under his gaze, he went to comfort her and said, "I know you have merely been a pawn in the evil witch Cheryl's plan to rule. I see that you are indeed a strong, confident, and independent woman. I hereby grant you the title of Governess of the Meadow. I have no doubt you will rule admirably and justly." He then turned to Valenka, whose head was bowed with guilt and humility. He reached out and gently raised her head so that her eyes met his own. "Have no fear now, fierce mother," he said. "While your desire to have a daughter raised to a position of power were misguided, your intentions were pure and full of love. You have raised a wonderful and powerful woman, and that shows great character in yourself. I hereby grant you a position by my side to help rule the land with your maternal instincts." The Nature King turned to his loving son, standing proudly with Valen at the altar. He walked to them both, embracing them. "The love you have for each other is true and natural, and it is the love I wish to see in my kingdom." The king addressed the audience and proclaimed, "I give you the princes of the land, Kai and Valen. Their union will be the only one we see this night." Everyone cheered and danced and shouted with joy. After the ceremony, the festivities began again, this time in a celebration until dawn.